And that was Jake Lyle reporting. All escaped inmates face a felony escape charge and possibly prison time.
And now, your Storm Center 7 forecast with meteorologist Robert Gauthreaux III.
And you know, Robert, we've had a really wild day, and it's going to be tough for a lot of people, but there is something that this wet and warm weather makes us happy about, and that's fireflies.
Yep, fireflies, or I think my mom calls them lightning bugs. I think that's a southern way to call them. Lightning bugs, yeah. But because it's been wet, we've seen a lot of rain today, and it's muggy, and it's generally pretty warm. Probably have some decent weather to go see some fireflies out this evening. So expect a nice light show. Temperatures slowly dropping into the low 70s tonight. With that cloud cover, it's going to really kind of make that temperature drop more slowly. But we will likely see some clearing. We're actually seeing some clearing in a few areas right now. But we'll probably, overall, keep a little bit of cloud cover with us overnight. Temperatures right now, 74 degrees. I mentioned it was cooler than that earlier. But the temperatures actually climbed a little bit. The rain really cooled things down, and a lot of us still, it looks like we're all in the 70s. Nobody's quite in the 60s yet. I think a lot of us will drop into the upper 60s tonight, so it will be a little cooler, but still pretty muggy. It's not until this weekend we'll actually dry off a little bit as far as humidity is concerned. You can see the dew point is in the 70s, and usually when it's that high, it's pretty muggy, at least for the Midwest. You can see 70s across most of the region. Mid to upper 60s up toward the north, so the relative humidity jumps around throughout the entire day. You can have 100% humidity in the winter and it doesn't feel muggy. That's why we look at the dew point. The dew point actually tells us the moisture in the air. Relative humidity, if it's 100%, that means it's foggy. That's pretty much all it tells us. Now, into the next 24 hours, you're going to see temperatures drop, into the 60s briefly, and then we'll be back in the mid to upper 80s. So still staying out of the 90s, still arguably seasonable for this time of year. But then as we move into the weekend, we'll see that temperature scale back a little bit. We'll have more nights in the 60s and approaching the 50s. Now, if you take a look at Clark County earlier, this is sent in from Terry Norris, yard flooded, and then it drained. But then you saw another round of rain, and so it flooded again, and then it drained. And so that's what we've been seeing throughout much of the day, just kind of rounds of rain. Now, earlier, Molly mentioned how despite the tornado that happened, there was still some showers coming in after that, so cleanup was a little bit more difficult. Thankfully, we're not going to see much rain activity tomorrow to at least give us a break, but there is still definitely rain in the forecast, and a lot of people still need it. Now, right now, clouds and rain, you can see a little bit of cloud cover, but a lot of the rain is fizzled out. There were a few showers kind of making their way toward Dayton, but they're not really there anymore. And here's the cloud cover, still pretty thick, but if you look up toward the north, the clouds are a little bit thinner. So it won't be completely overcast overnight, but it'll still be pretty cloudy as we move into early Thursday and even a bit into Thursday afternoon. Here's a look at the futurecast, what we can expect. You do see some clearing from here and there. Here's Thursday, 8 a.m., looking pretty dry, and you'll notice the futurecast throughout Thursday remains pretty dry. That being said, I wouldn't rule out a stray shower, certainly nothing like what we saw today, but we do have a better chance of rain as we move into Friday. Here's early Friday morning. There's at 6 a.m. You start to see a little bit of green on the map, even if it's not in our area, and then by the afternoon you do see that chance for some showers and thunderstorms, and after this will eventually cool down. Look at this weekend. Highs barely getting to the 80s, even Friday barely getting to the 80s, lows down to the 60s, perhaps even a night or two in the 50s, before we warm back up to the upper 80s later in the week and the chance for storms. And I think a lot of people were curious about this question. Which type of correlation coefficient value may indicate lofted debris? This is the answer from 6 o'clock. I guess a lot of people missed this. I don't know why, but the answer is actually low. Low correlation coefficient means that there's likely a tornado on the ground. That's what you look for when you look for debris.
I don't know how anyone missed it, Robert. We were busy.
That's fine. I'll show it again.
Okay, good. All right, a lot of us got it wrong anyway. A Dayton businessman told us someone drilled a hole in his gas tank to try and steal his gas.